Hello, hello, hello. Happy Thursday. At least in the US. I just realized a lot of you who watch me might be overseas and I have no clue what day you watch this. I don't know how that works. If it's Thursday our day, is it Friday for you guys? But welcome all. This is Jolene with the Jewel Design and I am here with Christmas. Weird, right? I look like fall. But I'm working on Christmas. Oh goodness. Tuesday you hopefully saw the reveal to the Vintage Christmas Joy digital kit. We called it vintage because I felt it led towards that, but there are retro kits and retro elements in there. So I'm almost debating to put vintage retro Christmas Joy. I'm almost tempted to change the name on it, but I didn't want to put it on too much one side or the other. So anyway, go back. I'll put a link right here up in the cards, and you can go take a peek real quick if you happen to have missed the reveal to the Christmas Joy kit. Now, Gail showed it. Lorette has showed it. If you are avid followers of theirs and mine, I'm your third video of the day. That's okay. Or not the third. I could be your last video for the day, right? Woohoo! But I wanted to stick with the theme of Christmas in October here, like we did sort of back in July, and try to get some Christmas stuff done, both physically and both digitally and physically. And this is actually, we're going to be working on last year's Christmas at Your Door kit. And we are going to finally make the ringed binder journal that I was hoping to make last year. Stoked that I didn't, though, because I've learned so much in the past year, and there's so many great inspirations right now, so many things to do that I would not have done any justice and would have looked at it now and gone, what the heck? So you can see everything's a mess, but I have tried to pull a lot of what I need so I don't forget as we're working on things. I have scraps, I have ribbon, I have satin, I have all kinds of things, and I've gotten inspiration from Vintage Paper Girl, Lorette, Gail always, little bits and pieces of my Happy Planner stuff. I was just watching a great fall spread from my Porch Prints. Like, everybody's influenced me, which is sort of a bummer too, because then I get overwhelmed and I try to put everything into the journal, which is what sort of happened with the botanical kit. I had all kinds of great ideas, which means I put a lot into it, which was a lot of fun. And so I look at the fall one, I'm like, oh yeah, the fall one's definitely simpler. But that's okay. I like having the ups and downs. They're really vibrant and the not so vibrant. So we're starting off today with a couple things. When I made the Christmas at Your Door kit, I sort of provided a sort of book cover sheet for you guys to cut and print as you saw fit, because it had the ability of the front look of the lace and a holly washi tape type applique look on it, maybe a really simple one, but still there. And then the back, right? It was an old book. I cleaned it up because it had something else on it, added my layers to it. And then I personally printed the 1970s poinsettia painting with that I had adjusted on the inside, because it felt like an old book, like the books you'd open up, the hard backs that had sort of the printed inside covers, and that's what it felt like. So when I first was looking into this journal, making it last year, I wanted this as my cover. But now that I've played with them, right, I know the covers need to be thicker than just cardstock, and I hate to lose this. So what I decided to do is take all the eco-dyed or coffee-dyed papers that I have collected and purchased over the past 6 months, and I'm going to make this more of a little bit of a journal notebook. Probably just for me. I don't know if I'll sell it or not. But I'm just going to put all these fun papers in there, sew them in like we do with Gail, and sew it into the cover, maybe add a little more lace. I will decorate this up, not too heavy because we don't want the thing to malfunction, but decorate the front of this really pretty, keep it to hopefully style, and make it a sweet just journaling notebook. And really may not do much of anything else into the side of it. If I decide to keep it, then I may take bits and pieces of leftovers and fun things and add little things to the corners and stamp it, stuff like that. But if I decide to sell it for something for a really simple, decorative cover but simple journal, then I may go ahead and, just leave it plain and let everybody do what they want to do with it. But there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's 14. That's 28 sides to journal on. So it's almost December daily worthy if you want to do it just for Christmas from the 1st to the 25th. So it has some potential. I haven't decided. I might keep it for myself and really journal each day in it. A gratitude, a tradition, a thought, I might do it. Maybe I love Christmas a lot, so maybe I will do sort of a Christmas journal for myself. So I'm putting the cover to good use. So if you've got the Christmas at your door kit last year, this was the intention. But oh my gosh, cut it up, put it in 2 pieces, print whatever you want on it, or glue it onto the proper press board and make it a hardy book cover. Wouldn't that be great? Or even on an altered book, you don't like the sort of the cover on the book itself. Glue this down, edge it out, like really, you know, enhance that hardback cover and do something else with it, right? So there is that. So it's something that had, like, again, I started out one way and then went, oh, wait a minute, that's not going to work for me. So instead, since I am doing a ringed, and I keep calling it a binder, which is so funny, since I am doing a ringed journal, I'm probably a double ring, just a 2 ring. I don't think I need a third in there. I don't think these are big enough. We're going to make it a fabric cover. So I have the press board that we're going to use, and I have 3 gorgeous poinsettia fat quarters. So I think I'm going to go ahead and cut rectangles and squares and try to quilt some kind of pattern that will wrap around this press board. And then that way I can zigzag just outside the press board and let it fray on the edges where we're not going to hole punch it. So it's a 3-sided sort of frayed cover. Hopefully. I'm hoping there's enough. I'm going to have to do some measurements. Lucky me. And see how far I can stretch this. Because I also need at least a single cover on the back. I need a quilted version on the back. Maybe glued to the press board. And then what I might do is put this pretty note paper that we have. I may glue it to the press board and maybe just flip over the edge of the fabric back cover, and sew it in and use the paper as the inside cover. But let's cross our fingers that I can stretch these 3 fat quarters to cover these. I should be able to. I can't see it not being enough, but you never know. So I got to pull the math out for this. So it's probably one of the last things you'll see as I go to reveal the finished product. You'll get to see what may or may have taken me forever, of course, to do the cover. So that will be the last thing we do, since it is definitely not something I can do on camera with you guys, unless some fun do not do advice comes up going, oh my gosh, learn from my lessons, right? Learn from my mistakes. We just have to come down to whether or not I'm going to do this on the brass antique rings, I shouldn't call them brass. The antique rings, which if this gets too chunky, these won't be big enough. And I do have larger silver ones. These are 1.5. They're not quite, they're a little over 1.5. I have a full 2+ inch ones that I may have to use. I'd love to keep to these guys. I really do. But I don't know if they're going to be big enough. So we can always start with one. If it doesn't work, I have a backup. It won't be exactly what I want, but I have a backup. Which in the end, when I'm all done, I'm going to use the back board to make the templates for my holes. Use it as a template. Make sure each page fits like it's supposed to within the frame here. Hole punch them all, and then I can cover this, and I have these hole punch to redo the templates on this. So at some point, I will template where I think I want my holes to be once I've done the design work, but I will always keep in mind that I'm going to have to punch holes in it. I will probably want to put grommets or eyelets on the front and back cover. I don't have enough, I think, to do it for the inside. Like, that was the mistake I found when I was doing the little sepia one, that I didn't have enough eyelets or brackets or whatever to cover each single hole, and I was really frustrated because I was like, oh, I had to shrink that book. As you saw, I have some pieces of paper left over. I already started with the kit and sort of got this started so I could sit and talk with you guys, chat, I guess, and work on this. So there are a number of pages. There are, like I said, I had a lot of great ideas and inspiration. So as we go along, I think we're just going to go top, bottom. We're going to go from the top to the bottom, and each page we're just going to work on it so you can sort of see where it lands. And as we ink and think and play with it and just sort of work on it. If it looks like we're getting out of time, which I do just realize I need to start that. I didn't start my timer. So starting now, so by the time I hit the 45-minute mark on that one, we'll definitely be just shy of an hour. I definitely want to give you a feel for how or why I used each page in the kit on the books. And then the next video, which will be 1 or 2 weeks away. I don't know if I'm going to do a back-to-back and do one next week, and then just do a second digital reveal the following week. Or whether I skip a week, or I don't know. I had my computer, I had a plan of attack, and then my daughter's Dell computer for school crashed. Hard drive not installed. Hard drive does not compute. And the only other computer we have in this house is my work computer, my Surface Book. And I'm like, no. So when I used to sit with my computer while she was doing certain parts of her lesson, I can't do now. I'm so loving that. So we're going to go through each page as we go. I found things like oatmeal boxes, press board, white press board that was in packaging. I found all kinds of things, and some of them are exactly the same size. Others are different sizes. Like this is a little smaller than our actual page of the day. Our pages are actually 8.5 by 5 3/4, and then the cover, because of the fabric, will just be a little bit beyond that. So what I'm doing with this one is I will have to go back and find a simple page. I have some simple digital background pages that are really pale, like a distress color, that I'm going to have to print out and glue to this so that we have places to write. I don't think I want to go this hardcore to have you guys write on it. I don't think. Because it isn't perfect and it's all weird, and I want to make sure it's covered and you have something nice to write on. But there's a lot of these things in different colors that I want to distress the edges and then put paper over it, because these guys are 8.5 tall by 11 wide, and because of the printing, and even these, I went to the edge as far as I could go, they're going to come up short. So some of these, you notice I distressed them with a Tim Holtz cutter, and they're going to sit inside the press board, inside the whatever backing I have, and we're going to distress the boards to give it a nice look and feel. But because this one is smaller than our typical size, I went ahead and marked out where I wanted it, and we are going to glue it straight down. I did not want to have to fuss and muss with this stuff whatsoever. Right now I'm doing a lot of things where I'm using the really good Magic Blue Glue, which is not blue anymore. I noticed after it's open for a little bit, it loses its blue. I do not go through these fast enough, apparently. I go through spurts, I guess. I haven't really done a lot. But I'm going to start off with the glue, and then if I need to around the edges, I will use the glitter glue to stick it down and make sure it is good to go. Now, it doesn't really matter if it's top or bottom, but I did sort of eyeball it according to top and bottom. So I just have it, I'm keeping it right inside my pencil marks so that I know that when I go to trim around the edges, it is going to fit like it's supposed to. So I decided to use my lighter color. My lighter version is like a 50% version of one of my darker pages, which will be the center page of the book. Instead of having a center of the signature, my middle press board page will be the 100% version of this beautiful one. And this is definitely, as someone said, an untraditional view and a unique way to use the imagery, which I thought was an awesome review on my behalf. I had to come up with something that was sort of Christmassy, and sometimes I gravitate to the red and green, and sometimes I don't. I guess I really do like the antique-y, but I have a hard time with retro sometimes. And so I was really stoked that I could find the retro pieces for the newest kit. But in the end, I felt like once I layered it all up, it didn't lend to super bright vintage. I did take that element of vintage and sort of creamed everything out a little bit, so it wasn't super bright white. So you could go either way with it. So I know Lorette's having a ball with it. Her video is up yesterday and Monday on her design project for me. So that is awesome. Now I do have these strips that I'm not going to worry about, but these two may be needed. So every piece of paper I have, I am saving, because one of our pages is going to be a collage of any leftover paper we have. So if I don't have somewhere else to cover it, I am going to make a collage on one of these pages. I have a really cute holiday card, like from a business or something, that I want to collage on the back, which I'll show you in a moment. Okay, so I purposely did it to where we had some green. You have the window somewhat centered, but not perfectly. And we're definitely going to now have to go back with the glitter glue. So as I said, my daughter's computer died. So homeschooling for the next week is going to be weird. At least I had the new kit up. At least I had finished. I do have Christmas words for you guys that match the newer Christmas colors this year. If you're a pink shabby Christmas girl, or lady, I shouldn't say girl, sorry. I have, this one is disgusting. I have a pink shabby words, or Christmas words in a pink, two-tone pink shabby, pale and light, pale and dark. I have a somewhat silvery blue or gray blue words, and a mint, as in like mint chip, if you know what an honest to God mint chip ice cream is. Even with the darker brown that I'm using for the coloring for the words. Oh my gosh, it's so yummy. So, because Frank Garcia, Shabby Art Boutique, and a couple others, including my pink Shabby from last year, do lend to a different set of Christmas. Now, if you like the vintage Christmas words, I have a set of those too. That was from last year, and they are up still in the shop. I released all the holiday stuff in July with my Christmas in July sale. Re-released all that stuff from last year. So if you've grabbed the opportunity, awesome. If you haven't, there's all kinds of things. Just type in the word Christmas into my shop, and it will pick up anything that has the word Christmas, which I believe almost everything has it, whether it's Christmas at your door, Shabby Christmas, Vintage Christmas. I think all of it pops up one way or another. But there's a snowy winter, which I still put the word Christmas, I think, in the tag or something, so they do pop up. But there's snowy winter, which is more of the snowmen and snowflakes and, coziness, which I hope they do another one. I don't think it'll be as blue as it was last year, but I have this gorgeous teal and raspberry that I want to work with. And so I'm hoping to do sort of a cozy winter kit next, right? Here we're finally getting into autumn and I'm worrying about a cozy winter. Gosh. Well, I have to say at the beginning of the week, I was prepping, the video for the reveal and stuff, and it was literally coming off 96 degrees. It was, we were hitting 90 finally. Tonight, while I'm recording this, is literally the night before you guys see it. For once, I normally do it days before, but it's just how life goes. We are seeing barely 70. Wednesday for me was barely 70. Thursday's supposed to be like 68, and Friday is supposed to be like 62 degrees. It's supposed to be maybe a total of a 10-degree difference from morning to evening. I told my daughter, I said, you're going to get up at 52 degrees, and you're going to come home at 62, 63 from school. Oh my gosh. So crazy. But it really makes me want to think of a really yummy warm dinner. Like, what kind of crock potty warm dinner do we want? Now, I'm putting vintage on the edge of this, and I'm sort of not caring for it too much. I do have a redder ink, and I think I'm going to grab it because I do have sort of a brick red, and I think I'm going to layer it because I'm like, I like the idea. It is, a lot of vintage is going to go over every aspect, I think, of the edge of every press board that I've got to keep to a really warm, yummy feel in the book. Though Christmas at Your Door isn't per se vintagey, I did find some fun photos. New England Christmas, I found, the red door, like this one. It's paint is peeled, feels like it's an old door. It was actually to like, it reminded me of London almost, like the London doors to the photo booths. But it was a door to an old shop, and that maybe seen some better days. And so, but I went ahead and played with it and added stuff to it and all kinds of fun things. But where's my burgundy? One sec. I've got colors everywhere right now. Oh my gosh. Sorry about my head. I know. Well, at least my hair is done. It's all pretty and curly. At least the hair is all pretty and curly. Okay. So it didn't lend technically to vintage. I know, the time I was being asked for vintage, I was being asked for retro, and I wasn't into it yet. I hadn't really quite gotten all of my, nicks and knacks and confidence up yet. So I saw I don't know what made me think about it. I saw the doors when I was looking for red, I guess. I was looking for red in Christmas, and I saw doors. And I went, So Christmas at Your Door came up, and that's where holly and poinsettias, because that's what we decorate our doorways with and our front porches with, came into mind. There we go. A little vintage, a little of my, what is this? It's an old barn red. Yeah, that works. A little barn red. This is an old, much older. Creative Memories, which isn't around anymore. They've renamed themselves. I don't know. They went through bankruptcy a while back and renamed themselves to something else. I don't know what. Okay, so this is one of our first small doors. I have no idea how I'm going to decorate it yet. I know this is going to be a journal page, because I want to make sure we get as many journal pages and journal cards as we can in here. This is the only downside to a ringed journal. I haven't figured out yet how to get the journaling part in here. So, but the nice thing is we can keep adding until we just run out of room, right? So that is the perk of all of it. So page 1 of our cover, or page 1 of our journal at the moment is done. Woohoo! 1 down. So many to go. All right, the next one is one of my first press boards. And as you can see, I paper clip stuff. I'm definitely channeling my mother this time. I've seen her, watched enough of her things that if you want to go through and not forget what you're doing, paper clip it. Especially with the design job now, the one she's doing now. And she's done it with a number of things. So as I mentioned before, I went ahead and decided which papers I wanted, the main papers that I wanted on each press board. So I think there's 3 of these and 2 white ones. And then I could decide what was left over and start covering other elements. So what I'm thinking on this first one is some poinsettias on the bottom of each one. Some of them are matchy, some of them are a little off. Now, either way, I need to get this behind it. And I am using this Starbucks baggie from last year because I love the red and the green, right? Red and green. And use elements of this in in my journal for this year. The one I made last year was some pictures of it were up, but I had used a Christmas bag from Starbucks and made it into the cover of what's supposed to will be my December daily. I was using my Porch Prints kit at the end of last year because I was just in love with it, and it will be my December daily for this year. But again, used the Christmas sort of imagery in their bags and made a cover for it. So this time I'm just going to use one of the bags, and we're going to cover the front here with something. I haven't decided what yet, but I do need to get it glued down and the pages glued in place. And then I can cover and decorate. Again, sort of utilizing the green and the cream around the edges. No reason why we have to cover every little ounce of it, but I don't need her face per se in there. I could even put something cool here and utilize this. So and I'm going to leave it sort of open as an accordion style actually in this run, because it gives me more room to put more in it. So to start off with, backside, right? I know most of these you can glue down whatever you need and cover it with paper, which is going to be a little harder this time around because paper doesn't go from one end to the other. But before I do that, let's just stress it. Okay, so hopefully everybody's weather is maybe finally feeling like fall, since we are finally, today is the 7th, or actually you guys are watching on the 7th of October. So hopefully there's some fall showing up in maybe the West Coast. I know someone said in Lorette's video that they were East Coast and still sort of balmy and warm, which I thought was weird because you guys get, East Coast gets snow before anybody, or usually, so I don't know. We'll see. I think the weather's going to be weird. I was really hoping for an early fall so that it could settle in and we could get all the rain that we needed. We had very little fall last year too, and we really didn't get winter. We had a few frost warnings, but it wasn't that cold, it wasn't wet, so it worries me a lot that it's not, going to be an easy thing. So I love the fact that we're distressing the edges of these. I think it just makes it stretch a little farther. It makes more use of the pages. I'm hoping with everything glued down, they're going to feel a little heavier. You only do so much, right? I had to scrounge. I had the perfect press board for this. I was getting it in something I kept ordering. And we did a bunch of fabric flips for Lorette last year. And she needed that white sort of press board, cardboard for shipping. So I was like, oh, here, I have all these. You can have them. We sell all those things. And then I went to go work on this and went, I don't have anything. I was so kicking myself. And whatever it was, I wasn't getting any more of it, apparently. I stopped receiving them, and whatever I was ordering, I must have stopped ordering something, and I was just kicking myself. I was like, man. Oh, they were for my art. I was doing a 10-month Afghan project. So every package of 3 bits of yarn came with this white press board to keep the package from getting all weirdly, I guess, mangled. Right? And, so I gave it to my mom, and then I stopped receiving. I finished the kit, and I was like, oh, man, seriously? Ugh. So, yeah, I had to scrounge for it. I think I got a piece or 2 back, but I was like, now, this is the only thing which I noticed in another part of the book, that when I glue this down, the paper may not cover everything. So, we'll see. I don't want to try trying to think. I don't want to get this bulky. So it's the only thing I'm worried about right now is it becoming really bulky and not these papers. Because they are, some of them, my... Ooh, that's an idea. Some of them are boo-boo. Some of them are first... This is back when I wasn't printing everything on really good paper right off the bat. I was doing it willy-nilly. That I didn't have... Sorry, I'm struggling here. I don't want to cut too much to where I have nothing to glue down, but not so much that we've got this bulky whatever, right? There we go. So then I can just do this and this. Gotta make it work. Okay, glue it down. I lost my train of thought again. Doesn't matter. But yeah, anyway, so hopefully fall's going well. Hopefully I know some of us are, with Friday's drop in temp, there is a slight chance of, they say humidity. I don't know what that means exactly. Like the generic websites say, 72% humidity. Is that fog? Is that overcast? Is that just moisture in the air? Or is that actually rain? All right, so when I do that, minus that part, let's not glue that down. What I don't want is what I was seeing right here, which is what I was afraid of. Shoot. Is that hole. Now, normally I would glue all this down and have, a nice clean, and I might have to, I may end up having to, leave it open for a second. I may end up having to glue down the seams so that it gives it some more support. Now, what I haven't done, and that's the back side, let's not do the wrong one, is what I didn't get to, because I wasn't sure how much to do without you guys, which, I don't know, I've done covers with you guys, I've sewn in the pages real quick, I've done a lot of decorating of things, I don't know, but I wanted to enjoy it. I had to do it. Not have to do it, but I wanted to do this journal, so I thought I'd share some of the process with you. I did a lot of the nitty-gritty. I did already some of the glue this, or pick that, or trim this, so that part was not going to take forever, because I don't want you guys spending days on this. I want you to spend a video or two with me, and then you get the reveal, right? When I decide, okay, I'm done, which I think you're going to get another video next week, because I have a feeling I don't know when our new computer for her is coming, so I don't feel like it's being up all night, every night. So I rather just get a moment, whether, I can film when she's in class. I just can't do any design work. I can't do any graphic design work. It's not possible. Until, like, late in the evening, which, that does happen on occasion. That's what happened with, what was it? Oh, Thursday night? No, Friday night. Last Friday, I couldn't sleep. I went to go to sleep. I thought we were good. My husband and the dog started snoring. Some of it in unison, some of it in separate. One would snore, then the other would snore. One would snore, then the other would snore. I'm like, oh my God. And if I'm not already, like, out, I can't sleep through it. It is like freaking nails on a chalkboard. Especially if I'm awake. It's like, no, 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 no. Like if I'm thinking, or I'm a little worried about something, or I've got a lot to do. I had a lot to do on Saturday. Oh, it was Saturday night into Sunday. That's when it was. Got stuff done on Friday. Knew I had this long list to do on Saturday and Sunday. Trying to get caught up, and I did not get enough done on Saturday. And so it was all thinking about trying to figure out how am I going to get it all done on Sunday before Monday. And they started snoring. I went, OMG, that is not going to work. So I got up and I got all my Happy Planner stuff done. So I was good for the week. Just, so I could run the errands and take care of things. And so there we go. So look at that. I love the brown with the distress on distress, gives it some, feels more like, it definitely pulls the shiplap feel farther. It gets that little barn shiplap feel. Oh my gosh, I love that. Because I don't plan on covering this, I don't think, unless I feel like it gets too much. I might be able to cover a little bit, or Mod Podge it a little bit with like a white, think tissue paper to dull it down a little bit. I was watching Gail do that with this past week, or the week before, with her Scrappy Saturday was about patterns and using it to dull things, using it to do different stuff. So sometimes I'll do that with tissue paper for me, because I don't have a whole lot of actual pattern papers that I would do that with. I have one right now that I may actually wrap something up in, but if I have leftovers, I'll have to keep an eye on them. So I may dull it down just because it is definitely not the same red as that, but that's not a bad thing either, right? So there's that, and then we're going to cover that. Whether I put hole punches or thumb notches in it yet, I don't know, but again, we have time for that. Now, since this isn't so bulky and it's all dry, we'll distress and put this one. Now this one's technically upside down. Oh, there we go, because now I don't have to worry about it being broke. Duh. I think I started covering and go, oh, it's going to get blocked, because I had it paper clipped together, and I was like, duh. I didn't perfectly cut those tops, so we're going to distress it. Trying to stick with you guys and get stuff done. But this is sort of the gist, is getting the papers on, getting them distressed, getting the bases, and getting the envelopes glued down where we want it. Now, I have the envelopes in most places or packaging of some sort to do these flip ups, and I was just watching the rest of my Porch Prince Autumn spread. She did a spread in like a sketchbook for Autumn, and it has envelopes and pockets and tucks and little hidey holes. So I'm definitely, you know, channeling some of that, I hope, if I do it right. And finding new things to do, so I'm not just putting papers together for you guys and adding some pockets and being done with it. A little something different. Like I said, but I want to make sure there's enough. So here's my only dilemma. That doesn't cover a whole lot, and I'm debating whether I go to the edge of this page, knowing that the holes are going to be over here. It's centered there, but not there. So it sort of covers the edge of that ordeal and not, but I don't want to get caught on anything. Well, I think we're just going to, because if I center it like the other side, we're going to see a little bit of that, and I don't know if I want to. I may later put some lace or something over here to make it blend in a little bit. This is where I get just indecisive and not sure. Not that it's bad. Again, it's the cream and the green, and it's not a huge deal. And I might be able to... I know on another one I'm going to put lace or fabric to cover it because it's a bigger dent. Or feels like a bigger piece that needs to be covered. Yep, let's just center it. If it bugs me, I can always go ahead and add something to the edge of that side since it's not the hole punch side, and you know, make it a little bit more 3D-ish and add something to the edges of it so it's not so obvious. Keeping in mind that there is something flipping out though, so that's always my thing. I gotta remember it does flip out. So we've talked about weather a little bit with the craziness of my daughter's schedule. High schooler is doing great, thank God. All's going well enough. Well, going well for her in her neck of the woods. There's some been crazy stuff in school, I guess. At first she was like magnet. The first week or two, she seemed to be the magnet. Fights kept breaking out near her. Even one right beside her in class. One boy was teasing the crap out of the other one, and the one that was being teased finally decided he had enough of it. And in the end, look, I still ended up way over on the side anyway. How funny is that? I guess I was just supposed to put that to the side. Yeah, one boy was teasing the other one. The one being teased decided he had enough of it and turned around and socked the first guy. Of course, so they start tumbling, or, you know, and it's amazing how fast she can move when she wants to. Because it's at like a lab table, you know, and she's like, come on. But she'd be walking from one class to the other, and all of a sudden it'd be breaking out right in front of her, and she'd have to sidestep around it. And my husband was giving her a hard time, though. He goes, I know you're putting secret words into their ears, and you're getting them to fight, and you're having bets on the fight. And she's like, what are you talking about, Dad? Anyway, it was funny. He thought he was hedging. Maybe she was hedging something so she could make money, you know, off the fight. Yeah. Anyway, my hubby's funny. Just if nothing, just to get a rise out of her, if nothing else. Just to get a rise out of her. Just get her to go, what are you talking about? Okay. But yeah, so, and there's been some social media stuff that, not towards her, but I guess it's happening everywhere. And so that is really annoying as a parent. It's just like, really? It was sort of nice last year because last year and even into the beginning of, for her end of her 7th grade year and into her 8th grade year, the kids didn't talk to each other, of course, online. They would get in class and they'd get into breakout rooms to work on projects, and they couldn't speak to each other to save their lives. Don't know why. But they also didn't harass each other. They didn't bully each other. They didn't care what the other one was wearing. Most of the time, they didn't even have their cameras on. They just didn't care. You could come in your sweatpants, and your hair was sort of on the top of your head as a mess, and no one cared, right? Well, we're back to school, and the social media stuff is running rampant again. And so it's, making it hard for the good kids because they have to go through all the crap that the bad kids have, misbehaved kids, I should say, not bad kids, but the misbehaved kids are creating. So anyway, if you have kids, you know what I'm talking about, at least in California, what the TikTok crap may be going around. If you're not, don't have kids, good, yay, you don't have to worry about it. Yeah, or you have kids are really, really young, you're not there yet. As you get kids where you have schools where you have older 5th through 8th grade still part of your elementary school, then you'll have to deal with a little bit of it. But anyway, but she's doing good at this. Her classes are going well. She's figuring it out. She's loving being in class, making new friends, reconnecting with old friends that, she hadn't seen. And it's like, Mom, can I go hang at her house tomorrow? And I'm like, all right, yeah, we're all good. Okay. So it's cute. All right, so there's number 2. All right, and we have to work on this. So I think I'm going to get base pieces with you done today, give you a feel for what I might want to do with each piece, and then go from there. So we'll do a lot of the decorating. I'll make sure everything prepped, and we'll do the decorating. So your first page overlaps on the edge here. So you have that. You flip it. You've got that. We're going to have it, which will be open. Maybe a little decor here, but this is, definitely decorated. Flips open, and will be a pocket for something. Got the back. Then you got the back, which is pretty. Then we have one of my first Christmas pieces, which I guess is what led to this. Actually, that's what it led to this. I had found a red door, and I had printed a bunch of stuff out, physically made Christmas cards, and took a picture of them and made them as greeting cards for you guys, but gave you all the elements if you wanted to make your own journal cards, or Christmas greeting cards via journal style. And it didn't go well. You guys were like, yeah, whatever. Didn't like how I laid them out, or I don't know, it just didn't work, right? So I tried to make a journal kit out of it, but we weren't happy with that either. I didn't even put that one out. But the red doors all of a sudden lent to something. I don't know what it triggered, but all of a sudden I was like, well, wait a minute. Can I find more red doors? Can I find more poinsettias and poly? And could I make a whole kit out of a red door type feel? But this is a print job of one of my test runs of one of the cards front and back when it was photographed. So it's just going to be a cute little insert right into the next page. Then we get to the first white press board that I have. And I only have 2 of them, so they feel a little bit bigger than the rest. But I went ahead and put, glued down paper towels, but they are coffee soaked. And I mean soaked. I don't know I'm finally figuring out how to tea dye stuff, little by little. Figured out the combination and how to get about it. But I made the mistake. I badly autopiloted one day. Went to go make a cup of coffee one weekend. Probably off a night that didn't sleep all that well. Walked away. Forgot to put my coffee mug underneath the Keurig pod machine. Luckily, it has a reservoir on it, but yeah, that overflowed. When I go to make a 12-ounce cup, only about 6 to 7 ounces, makes it into that reservoir. All of a sudden I turn around because I was like, that sounds really odd. I turn around and I've got coffee going wherever it wants to go. So I started soaking it up with paper towels, right? And I'm about to throw them away and went, wait a minute, these are coffee dyed. These are soaked with coffee. I said, wouldn't that be fun in something? Now, I was thinking autumn at the time. I didn't even think about Christmas. I was just like, oh, that'll be great in the autumn. I've done it before. I did it in mine, I think my autumn kit. Both of my autumn kits that I personally kept. My autumn journals. I put paper towels in them. And I even took one of the paper towels and treated it like a canvas and did a drawing on it. So anyway, I kept the coffee dyed paper towels, and I thought they'd be great texture for something. So that's what I did. I went ahead and glued down the coffee dyed paper towels, left them rigid on the ends for some texture, right? Left them all frayed and rigid and glued down, which I'm going to keep checking throughout the process to make sure that it all sticks down. Because I think I used just glue stick to start with. And that's fine. I'll just keep gluing it down around the edges until I know that it's going to stay put. But I thought it'd be great because this page is definitely, paper is definitely bigger than we need. So what I will do though, because it seems a little wider than the other one, which is weird because they're all measured the same, at least I thought they were. I'm going to take a little bit off the top of each one of these so it sits a little bit more centered. I am a huge OCD freak on that one and like to have things, I hate to frame anything when it's like thicker on the sides and skinny on the top. I have one diamond painting that way, and or I had a diamond painting that way, and it drove me insane. I could not stand the idea of it not a perfectly framed picture, like 2 inches on all sides. That's what I wanted. I didn't get that. And it's just one of those nitpicky things that I can't stand. So it's just me. I think that this one needs to be the same way. Yeah. So what I did on this board is we've got the doors. We have 2 doors from the kit, and then their pages, because I did end up doing corners of the decorative pages with bits and pieces of fun. Now, I don't know if it's in the kit that way. I think I was able to keep those elements in the kit. Oh, what was that? Eek! Hold on. I dropped something. I picked up something with my... Oh, there it is. The top to my glue. Sorry, guys. I'm turned away from you, so you probably can't hear me. All right. My glue top. Try to escape with my my cutter there. Okay. So, yeah, I'm just nitpicky about that. Things have to be even when they should be even, I should say. Not everything has to be even. I'm learning to do things off-centered. I'm learning to do things in weird directions. Sometimes I go, ooh, let's do this unusual. And someone goes, that doesn't look right. Well, no, it's not supposed to. When I want to go crazy, people get on me. And when I want to be even, well. But, yeah, I prefer it somewhat framed. Which, of course, I just did that one page, right? I went off to one side. Unexpectedly, but sometimes that's just operator error. Can't cut straight, can't glue straight. But if I can help it, I'm going to at least try to attempt some stuff. Now, these are definitely thinner papers, which is why we're using the press board, which is why we've got texture, why we're trying to get some thickness. And the paper, is just another element. But this is when I would just do a quick print job on everyday paper just to see how it printed, because there'd be times where like this would be clear or this would be a weird color. But I have found out the better quality paper gives me a more realistic idea of what you guys are going to get. So I really wait to the last possible moment and hope that I don't make too many copies. Though it did lead to those great floral botanical bundles that you guys got or could get. I had those bundles up for sale. So because I had excess pieces. I had extras. Now this, because of this, I don't want to take the chance of just using the glue stick. And so I'm going to use the glitter glue for sure. This will help soak through the paper towel like it does with lace and other things, and help give us, a solid all the way through print glue job. So it's the same print glue job that it'll all stick in there like it means to be. So I hopefully you all, besides maybe waiting for fall, whether it's supposed to be here or not, we decorated surprisingly what about the second weekend of September. Come to find out, when I went to look at last year's journal, we didn't get to it till the end of September. I was sort of shocked. I don't know if it had to do with my husband's. No, there was nothing going on last year, so that was the thing. We were all home. He was at work, we were home, we're homeschooled, and it was late. I don't know why it took me so long to get fall up. Maybe I just didn't feel good. I don't know. I'm not sure why it took me so long, but I'm a good 2 weeks ahead of schedule. So I got fall out, the second weekend. Hubby was having another chemo treatment. The girls and me were home, so we cleaned house and decorated for fall. So when he came home, the house was all put back, put together for the holidays, which I know he won't, he'll let me have my fun. He'll be like, don't you need? And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah. He sort of starts picking it up through osmosis. And he's like, well, don't you need this or that? Or though, like he was this weekend, he was a kid in the candy store. We love Jack and Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas. Hubby is a huge Tim Burton fan, which we've become one too. And he introduced me to Nightmare Before Christmas right after we got married. So it's been around for a while. I think it just hit one of those anniversaries too. And, or just after he introduced me to that, we watched it and it became a favorite of ours. And so the kids have learned to love it. And so anyway, we were running errands, and there was a huge jack, like one of those car dealership wiggly worm thingies on the top of Ace Hardware. One of our, like, I don't know, what do you want to call it? I don't know. Ace, if you're in California, you have Aces. I don't know if there's Ace Hardwares anywhere else, but anyway, it's like a True Value, Ace Hardware, Home Depot type thing, but it's a local, usually they're local franchised. So anyway, it was up there, and I was like, he's like, oh, I need washers for our game table, da-da-da. And I said, okay, let's go. And I said, oh, there's Jack. I wonder what they have inside. Because I'm not big for decorating for Halloween, but I'll do fall for months on end. But we didn't do much last year. We actually had to chuck a few pieces that we had for a while that weren't doing so well. And I was, everybody around us, all, me and the little one are walking every day. So we're watching all these things go up, and we're like, oh, we need to get something. So we go in, and oh my gosh, he was more excited than me. We found a blow up jack on it's a tombstone, and he's sitting on top of it. So there's a blow up, right? Not super big, just right size. We have found that. Then we have found a flamingo skeleton. Flamingo. Now, I have a great friend who I adore who loves flamingos. And I'm almost tempted to go, would you put this in your yard? I don't know if you like him dead. I don't know. But anyway, made me think of her. But he fell in love with the flamingo. Not the duck. We already have a bat, a dog, and a cat, I believe. And so he wanted the flamingo, which I thought was hilarious, right? So we have a flamingo. We now have and a dragon. So we have a dragon skeleton. We have a dog, a cat, a bat, and now a flamingo skeleton that we're going to put in the front yard. And then we got a new tombstone. We got some lights to put in the dragon because the dragon was supposed to come with lights in his eyes, and that was a misrepresentation of that order. And 2 years back, so we figured we would zhuzh up the poor dragon with some lights. All right, so there is our door, and I think we're gonna keep it sort of new, like different on every right side if I can help it. Flip it to the back. We're gonna make this the front cover to that one. So anyway, but it was like he was like a kid in the candy store. Oh my gosh, it was great. It was so funny. Now this is the one I was talking about where I went ahead and blocked out the company name with one of my vintage Christmas phrases from last year. Make spirits bright, season's greetings. And the back is going to be a collage of all the leftover pieces that I have. Hopefully. If not, it's going to be everything I have that's just in the right, maybe cream, maybe beige, maybe Christmas, maybe whatever I can put on here that we're going to collage on the back of that one. But this is like the first page where it's sort of an interesting size and gives me a different dimension to go in there. Now, the middle. And this may be the last thing I get to do with you guys. I'm trying to find my timer. Let's see. Yeah, pretty much. Okay. So here is the fun of the last piece the middle piece that I get to work with you tonight. Which is fine because we'll decorate this. We'll decorate the next piece. I'll give you a quick glimpse of that. But what I'm doing to the middle, which is this is the 100% fully saturated page in my Christmas at Your Door. Okay, this is one of my favorite pieces. Absolutely adore this page. Just so red and green. You can't get any redder and green than this. Oh my goodness, right? So I decided to wrap it around so that on the side that gets hole punched, and grommeted, I guess that's the word, grommeted, not eyelets, or grommeted or eyelets, is going to wrap around, right? So we're going to let the page have a 3-sided border. We're going to distress both paper. This one I may distress in the red just to give it a little bit of hint. And of course, we'll distress this in the vintage to give it dimension. But what the big thing is on this one is to put the beige, I have a cream envelope. Again, this is where I'm going to distress around the edges. May stencil things, but I may not cover every element of it. I'm going to cover the front, okay, which I hate to do because one of my ladies, stenciled my name on it. But I want to make, this a pocket, and we're going to glue the part of the bag that I had to cut off. We're going to glue it down, and we're going to decorate this edge, and we're going to make it another pocket. So maybe some smaller, we're going to use it for like smaller ephemera pieces left over maybe, or something I didn't get to. And I saw a cute thing with my porch prints where we can put a flap, like a little hinged flap on here, like a tuck, to keep everything inside and not fall out. So we're going to have some layers and some dimensions to this. We are going to glue it in. Now here's where, because it's wrapped around, I don't have it. That's why I had extra. It's like, why do I have extra? Because it's wrapped around and not cut on this edge, I have this that I can see. And it just seems a little out of place. Now, I figured I could then cover it with a number of things. I could cover it with some cream lace or cream fabric from top to bottom to give it some dimension. Now I could do it top or bottom. I could cover it completely and make it a layer, but if I'm going to do that, I'm going to want that to be a little bit more specific. So with that thought in mind, of course, the moment I do it, I knew what I would want to do. I just had to wait to see what I wanted. First, I was going to use fabric and paper and whatever, but I'm wondering, I don't want to completely unhinge this. To hide it, or it doesn't really hide it, does it? I thought I could do it here and sort of, I wonder if just a little bit though. I wonder if I did it just right. If I put the white down that middle, if it would hide enough of it. It might just hide enough of that cream and you can still see the paper. That could be a really fun addition. Maybe we'll do that. Okay, so we're going to distress everything properly, including this a little bit when it's just glued down. And we're going to use this satin ribbon to sort of hide the fact there's a cream back there. Use the white to break it up, but give a nice fun detail to the top of this without completely hiding this. Because I don't think I'm going to do anything to this. The only thing it's going to hide is the flip out. And that's okay because you're going to then open it up. All right, and you're going to have cards in there. And you're going to have ephemera in there. We're going to put stuff in here and let this stand on its own, right? That's the whole point. A lot of this I want to be able to stand on its own, leave you either cream bullet journal room or use something within here. That is the goal in all of this. So there we go. You helped me work that out. I wasn't sure what to do. Now I know. So I'm going to put all of my paper clips back in place so I don't lose anything. And I think that's about all we're going to get to today. But you get the feel for what we're working on. I'm going to use a lot of envelopes to do a lot of flips and tucks and... Whoops, I have two there. That's what I'm looking for. Flips and tucks that I need for this project. And I'm going to... Oh, well, all right, yeah. Don't let me forget. Hopefully I remember. That's what I'm going to be using for that. Oops. Getting everything put back together here. Yeah, so that is what we're doing. This is the middle of the book where we'll get to. So much fun. The next piece that I definitely want to do with you guys, besides that big envelope, is my small envelope. And this one is an actual envelope that's in the Christmas at Your Door kit. And I'm going to cover the inside of this piece of this tab from the Quaker's book. We are going to glue this 10-leaf flap to it so that when I hole punch it, it has some weight and support to it. And then on the back side, we are going to probably cover with some more paper, and we're going to cover it with lace over the tab. I'm going to cut out that lovely little washi strip and put it in the middle of the lace, and we're just sort of going to layer up the back side of the envelope, and also this should be the right side of the left side of your book, but the right side of the page that we're flipping in. And we are going to turn this lovely envelope into more of a flipped out piece. So it's going to be sort of a hinged enveloped flip. And we're going to open this up. This one's going to open up for another flap. This one's going to open up this way. And we're going to put something here. This one's definitely going to open up and be a notebook coming down, because I think this makes the cutest header, this little postcard tab for technically gluing it down. We're going to distress this and put some more paper in here, and we're going to make this a notebook. Here's that lovely center, that sort of our center to this whole journal kit is this image, right? And then this one, I don't know. This one's going to open up, and I'm either going to make maybe a pocket in here so we can tuck stuff into it. Not sure. I did see some stuff. I'm going to re-look at it again and my porch prints, and I got a couple ideas for while this flips open, how we want to decorate this. I think it's going to be flip open to where we have a pocket, and maybe we will put a little, with a piece of ephemera or a fussy cut, put a paper clip here so that everything sort of stays in place. So this will be maybe another pocket with something tucked into it. This is going to be a notebook because it makes sense, right? And we're just going to keep flipping it. And this one actually will flip open. And either it's going to have a pocket in it, or it's just going to be distressed for two more writing spaces. So that is the idea. A lot of poinsettias and fun. This is where I used all my 3 of my 4 larger journal cards in this kit to make our extended flip out in this, using this envelope. So there is that. So that's the other big project. So that's probably what I'm going to do with you guys next week, is putting the pieces together for this one and all its goodies. So there's my time right there. See this one, and probably that middle section we will decorate up this one and its pockets, and get it put together. So the two really big pocketed flips that are in this book will get done on camera with you guys. There is a third one really quickly. Don't know exactly what it's going to be. I'm going to use this for covering, but we have, this is the other whiteboard, and we're going to center these guys on a tea-dyed white press board. I did figure out how to get that done. We're going to do the front and back, but we're going to do another couple envelopes that are going to flip up and flip out. And I will cut these, of course, to fit, but we're going to utilize, you know, the red and make it a header, and we're going to, you know, we're going to make the most of the envelopes in their redness, in their creaminess. This I'm definitely going to center and on the red. I think we'll do this corner a little bit more because it's brighter red. But we're going to take my collage page and we're going to cover this one up, leave it red on the inside. I may stencil it with distressed ink and stencil something on it just to give it some texture. We've got this, which is a great opening for bullet journaling in here. And then this one will open up outward. Now it's already a sort of linen flecked envelope. So we might just distress it and decorate it with some fussy cuts. Collaged on the technically front, and then you would open it and you have another pocket. So we'll see. I have a lot of pockets. I have to be careful, as I just heard Lorette say, you know, the more pockets, the more things you have to stuff them with. I'm like, yeek! I love making the pockets. I love making pages and pockets and covers. But the ephemera, sometimes I'm like, whoops, I don't have enough. So that's okay. I can keep reprinting this kit until I absolutely have this the way I want it. So that is the joy of it. So that is probably the third big piece, which is next in the book, and which I just found out. I just realized I have 3 large things that are sort of back to back near the middle of the book. So we will see how that flies, and hopefully nothing goes out of whack when I'm done with it. So I think I'm gonna, I don't want to fold that in half yet. Well, I have to because I know it's going to do that. So okay, I'm going to slightly fold it, only because I do not want to keep getting it caught up in what I'm doing. But I'm going to leave it this way so that I know I think I want to use that corner. And then after that, there's like a ho-ho-ho bag that I'm going to glue down and make it a top pocket. And this one, again, another of the press boards. Again, another tea-dyed envelope piece that I am just going to glue down. And it already has a cute trifold ephemera pocketed little tag insert that is part of the new kit, the new Christmas journal kit, Christmas Joy, Vintage Christmas Joy Digital Junk Journal Kit. And this is a mini medium tag, little ephemera flip, I guess. But this tucks in, and these are tucked in, and there's words clustered, and then there's this little tag that's just decorating. But you could flip it up and right on the back, right underneath, right on the journal cards, right on the tags, right here. Plenty of words, but isn't it adorable? So anyway, but it's going to be housed here. That's why I picked the paper that I put in it and went with it. And that's going to get tucked in there. And I'm going to do some distress ripped fabric to sort of give a distress ripped paper to make it look like sort of fabric-y ordeal here on the both inside and outside of the pocket. So that's going to flip out on the bottom, because right now I have bottom, middle, and top, and then I have up, and then, you know, the other pocket goes in all directions. So you have a somewhat even amount of things that flip out in different parts of the book, hopefully. This is a nice thing, though, because it is a ringed book. I don't have to be like, okay, what's on the right side of one page is the left of another, and things like that. So anyway, that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tagging along. I got to show you what I have in process. We got to get some of it started, and I will definitely continue on in the next few days and get the next video ready for you guys for next week, so you can see how I'm doing with it. And then we'll just see. Maybe I finish the rest off camera because it'll be quicker, because I'm doing some digital work. And we are able to just go ahead and do a flip through near the end. So hopefully you enjoyed this. Oh yeah, I decorated the back because I had the flap, right? So I actually took the flap and made it a pocket and decorated up the funky, like, whoever prints these guys, you know, like logo. And then you have that. So yeah, look, even that, a pocket with a pocket. Why not? Well, thank you so much. Hopefully that was all on camera. You loved it. I loved it. I can't wait to see how this turns out. Hopefully you'll follow me along in a couple of videos in this journal. And then if it fits your fancy when we're all said and done, maybe it'll take care of all of your Christmas needs. So thank you for joining me, Joanne at Jewel Design, and I will see you guys next week. Have a great day.